Hello and welcome to this week's guided reading with me, Becca Handley, for the 15th to the 22nd of October 2023. So we have some very strong energies at work right now, and we have for the last few sort of weeks and months. But yes, if you are feeling like things feel quite intense right now, speeded up maybe, if time seems to be going very quickly, it's because we are in this very transformative time energetically. And it's not bad, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. It's happening for a bigger reason. The light is getting bright. So yes, dark things are becoming apparent to us. You know, you only have to look in the news to realize that there is some very heavy stuff happening in the world. But at the same time, we have to keep focusing on the light. We have to keep focusing on our own inner worlds, creating peace and harmony where we can to counteract this darkness. The divine feminine is rising. And again, that is a good thing, but it means that you might be feeling a bit more than normal. There's a sort of presence to the energy right now. So you might feel like you're sort of in a bit of a film. Everything might feel a bit hyper real. Conversations, there's a vulnerability, there's more of a heart opening energy. So you might find that you're having more sort of authentic, heart-based conversations, interactions. So it's all good, but it is a lot to process. And the other word I got was process. Allow yourself to process. Give yourself time to be still. Find ways to support your body, support your mind, support your heart and your energy, whether it's doing more meditation, whether it's doing some kind of yoga nidra, or just lying on the floor, just taking a moment to ground. It might be about finding a therapeutic outlet for your process. But most people are going through some intense things right now. We have Chiron, planet Chiron, the star Chiron is still looming in the planet in the skies, and that will be through until December. And this energy, it's the wounded healer. So everyone has a wound from birth, and that is part of your learning. And a lot of this is coming up for lessons in self-empowerment and how we constructively use our anger. So yes, there is a lot of anger energy in the world, but is it being used constructively? No, it's being used destructively. So it's up for us as individuals and as a collective to find ways to channel those feelings of anger, to stay in our power, not to be triggered in a negative way. And if you are finding yourself triggered, find ways to heal those triggers, to get support for those triggers, because underneath it is a wound. Okay, and we all have our wounds. So there we go. So yeah, hold on, folks. It's a ride. Find ways to have joy, find ways to laugh, find ways to channel any energy into creativity, get into nature where you can. That's a super healing place to be right now. Get into those trees. Right, I am using the Power Animal cards, and I'm going to shuffle them. I just realised I didn't do Crystal of the Week last week or this week. Oh no, I'm in the flow now. What to say? I'm going to say the crystal of the week this week is smoky quartz. Smoky quartz, and I will put a picture on afterwards, but smoky quartz is a lovely grounding stone. It's kind of translucent but brown coloured, a bit like brown glass. It's calming and grounding without flattening. Some of the crystals, the grounding crystals, can kind of get you very low, and I've had them sometimes where I've had them on my personage, and then I suddenly feel very flat or very like, ooh. And then I realised that crystal is doing its thing. Whereas smoky quartz, it's calming and grounding, but it's still, there's a sense of uplift as well. So yeah, it can just be a very helpful, it's a good stone for transition. So that is Crystal of the Week. And like I said, I'll put a picture on. Okay, so the paranormal cards, spreading them out. Let's see what we have for this week. A couple of other things. We just had this new moon, which is all about resetting in relationships. You can still be tuning into that reset energy. So it's looking at relationships, and it doesn't have to just be human relationships. It could be relationships with food. It could be relationships with your phone. It could be a relationship with sleep. So, you know, if you wanted to be, keep going to bed late, you could start this new sort of week with a new way of looking after yourself, getting to bed earlier, turning your phone off an hour before you go to bed, making sure that you're not over checking your phone and wiring your brain. Again, food, healthy water, excuse me, making sure that you're eating mindfully, good food where you can. Yeah, and then we have also on the 20th, the sun is conjunct with Mercury, which is a really powerful time of manifestation, but it's more kind of around intellectual projects. So it could be something to do with writing a book, writing a speech. It could be giving a speech, a presentation. It might be about a collaboration. So it's sort of things to do with the mind. Really powerful time for manifesting things around that time, and that energy is really supportive of anything of an intellectual basis. And then on the 22nd, we have Mercury entering Scorpio, and then the next day is Scorpio entering the Sun. So that's Scorpio time. Many Scorpios are going to have a birthday over that month. This is about meaningful connections, being honest with ourselves, authentic connections. So it's not a time for like just mindless chit chat. It's like either be quiet or have some good chats, and it could be fun chats, but it's not just about kind of wasting your energy on just talking for the sake of it. It's also about getting to the bottom of thinking patterns, so negative patterns of thinking, and there are so many. There's black and white thinking, there's catastrophizing, there's shoulda, woulda, woulda, when, I should have done that. Those kind of things, they don't really support us. They're not really empowering us. So it could be about, getting a book about looking at the ways you think. CBT is a really helpful thing for that. So anyway, I am rambling on. Let's see what we have for the start of the week. We've got a little koala. Little koala there. Apologies to any Australians for my accent, although it's one of my better ones, if I'm honest. Am I allowed to say that? Koala. Empathy. Speak less and listen more. So this is a really important, I don't need to get the book out. This is a very important card for this time. It's so easy to want to have an opinion, isn't it? And we've got platforms like Twitter and Facebook, and everyone's kind of, not everyone, but a lot of people are just getting out their sort of penny's worth, their rants. But is it necessary? No, a lot of it is projection. And underneath it sometimes is that need to be seen and heard, which is a human need, but it's how we do it. There's other ways of finding that sense of connection. Everyone's going through stuff pretty much right now, this changing world. So we all need to be able to hold space more than usual and not kind of go straight in with our side of things, or with advice. Sometimes advice is necessary and helpful, but a lot of the time people just need to be seen. If they're struggling, it's like, I see you, I see your pain, I see your struggle, and that is a huge part of the healing process. People's hearts feel safe. So at the start of the week, where can you be more empathetic? And that could be with yourself, tuning in with how you're feeling, checking in a little bit more than normal. We're very good, us humans, at just batting on, cracking on, and not really checking in with ourselves. And then stuff comes up, or we get ill, or we snap at our partner, or we lose our patience because actually we're not feeling that great and we haven't acknowledged that. So find ways to release your feelings, any difficult feelings at the start of the week, and use your ears. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth, okay? 2, 1. She says, rumbling away. Right, let's see what we have for the middle of the week. What do we get? Oh, the turtle. Isn't he lovely? They're so chilled. I swam with turtles once in Mexico many moons ago, and it was one of the most calming, serene, magical experiences of my life, because they are just the dudes of the sea. They just take their time. They amble with their lovely flippers, carrying their shells upon their back, not making a fuss, maybe snapping if you're a snapping turtle, but on the whole, they're pretty chill. Stop trying to make something happen, retreat. So like I said, balance. This is a card of just taking a moment, just resting. You don't have to have all those plates juggling all at the same time. Take stock. What's really important at the moment? Let the other stuff just slide for a bit, okay? So we can get very overwhelmed. Our nervous systems can get very overwhelmed with our to-do lists. So have a priority to-do list. Really let the other stuff slide. If you're a parent with kids, you might be coming up to half term, so just try and ease yourself towards that time off, because quite often we slam into holidays really, really busy, and then we get ill or we just kind of burn out. So where can you just take the brakes off a little bit? Just maybe say no a bit more than normal, let some stuff slide. You don't have to be there at every opening of every envelope, okay? Right, let's see what we have for the end of the week. Ooh, Lynx, discernment, there he is. Look beyond immediate appearances. I'm going to read from the book for this one. It says, You're missing something by focusing on the outer appearance of the situation or person that's the object of your inquiry. Instead, use soft focus with your vision or hearing, and at the same time pay attention to any physical or intuitive cues that imply what else is going on, besides the apparent and the obvious. As they say, there is more to the story than meets the eye. In this case, it's the truth of what's behind the story. So I think this card is really about, again, listening to the feelings, digging a little deeper, feeling into what's going on. If you're feeling, a sort of not goodness or an overwhelm, what's the emotion under that? What's the trigger? What's the sort of wound that's coming up or the situation that's causing that? It's about taking steps, again, this message of stepping back from the busyness, getting away from the hubbub. If you live in a big city or a town, maybe getting to some countryside or some woodland, finding ways to decompress, being quiet, taking note of what you see, hear and feel without judgment or analysis. Just observe. Isn't that what we need of more in the world? A little more observation, a little less criticism and judginess. Okay, and we can do that for ourselves. What's going on for me? These are changing times, folks. These are intense times. And again, I'm not saying they're bad times, but we are in that big sort of storm of energy. Everything is shifting and turning so that we can birth a new world, a better way of being, but the old is crumbling. And we are there to feel the rubble moving beneath our feet. Feet, plural. Additional associations, confidentiality, stealth, privacy, inner vision. So go within a little bit over this weekend. Step back, take a moment for yourself, for the planet. Listen, be still, and breathe. Okay, on that note, I will say that is it for this week. Grab a smoky quartz if you want a bit of grounding, but a sense of upliftment, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Thank you.